I'm going to make a short video here helping you really to think about comparing rational numbers and ordering rational numbers. We talked about this in class, but I wanted to make this little video so that when you're doing your homework tonight, if you want to revisit what I talked about in class, you can. All right, so for ordering it, when you have a group of numbers and you want to see which is the least, which is the greatest, and put them in order, here's how I do it. I'm going to do a problem. Let's see, we have four numbers. 2.8, negative 2 and 3/4, 3 and 1/8, and negative 2.2 repeating. Okay, so I have those four numbers, and the thing for me to help me visualize it is to put it in a number line. So I create a number line here, 0. Everything on the right side is going to be positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything on this side is going to be negative. Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and negative 6. Okay, so I have my number line. Now, fractions are good, but even better is I always get everything to a decimal. If it's a percent, if it's a fraction, if I need to order something or compare something, I always want to get it to decimals. Once I have decimals, then I can easily compare them. It's like comparing apples to apples. Right now I have a decimal and a fraction. That's like comparing apples to oranges. It's different. So I want to get this to be a decimal. And the way I do that is it's going to be negative 2. And then 3/4 is just 3 divided by 4. And you can do that on your calculator if you want. 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. Then over here, I have another fraction. I know it's going to be 3. And then on my calculator, I do 1 divided by 8. 1 divided by 8 equals 0.125. And then this one is all a decimal. Okay, so now I have a decimal here, decimal here, decimal here, decimal here. I can put them on the line and then easily figure out which one's greatest, which one's least. Okay, and if they're asking me to go least to greatest, this right here is my least, and this right here is my greatest. Okay, so let's put them on the line. 2.8, it's a positive 2.8. I know it's going to be over here. Here's 2, not quite 3, but almost. 2.8, it's right there. Negative 2.75, I go to negative 2, but it's more than negative 2, so I got to go farther this way. Negative 2.75. Okay, then I have 3.125, so I go to 3.125, and then I have a negative 2 and 2 repeating. So right here is negative 2.2. All right, so now I go from least to greatest. I start over here. I have negative 2.75. Then I have, oh, and you know what? Well, let's keep going. Then I have negative 2.2 repeating. Then I have 2.8. And then I have 3.125. Now, this one and this one, those were already in decimals. But 2.8, 2.8, that one was already in decimal. This one was not. 2.75, negative 2.75. I want to go back and convert this to what it was originally. Negative 2 and 3/4. And then the other one was 3.125, which is 3 and 1/8. So if I'm going from least to greatest, negative 2 and 3/4, then I go to negative 2.2 repeating, then I go to 2.8, then I go to 3 and 1/8. Once it's on the number line, it's easy. I could also have put these in order from greatest to least. The greatest being this one, then that one, then that one, and this one being the least. You can go greatest to least, least to greatest, once they're on the number line. That's also a way to compare it. So I might want to take these two numbers and compare them. And the way I do that is put them on the number line also. 2.8 is right here. Negative 2 3/4 right here. This one is least, this one is greater, so I know I can go like that. 2.8 is greater than negative 2 3/4. When you're comparing numbers, one thing that's kind of nice is when it's a negative and a positive, the negative is always less. The positive is always greater. Okay? It's a little bit more tricky when you're comparing negatives and negatives. So for example, negative 2.75 compared to negative 2.2 repeating. So I have these two right here. Negative 2.2 repeating is there. This one is here. So I look on my number line, which one is less? Well, less is over here, and this one is greater. So 275 is less than that. Okay? But once you put it on a number line, that's so helpful. So if you're comparing numbers or putting them in order, get your number line all set, put them all in the number line, and then you can just compare or order them. Trick for me though, get them to the same thing. Get every number to a decimal. Once you have it to the decimal, put it on the number line, and then when you get it back to your order, make sure you go back and put it into the fraction what you started with originally. But once you got to do a decimal, it's so much easier. Okay, so that's one little lesson that we talked about today. Hopefully that'll help you with your homework. If you have any questions, come back tomorrow and we'll talk through these and make sure you understand it.